With this video, I'm going to show you how to do CTS-V V2 or second gen brake upgrade on a 9802F body. And it's important to make the distinction that this is for those specific vehicles because of the fact that you have an LS1 style upright. For those with LT1F bodies, you need to get this upright off of whether it be a LS1 car or a V6 car to be able to perform the rest of the modifications to run those CTS-V brakes. I'm currently in the process of installing SKF Corvette race hubs on this car for autocross in anticipation of going with wider, stickier compounds. The hubs are a commonly known failure for those that actually road race and autocross their cars. For you straight line guys to drag race, it's not quite as big of an issue. Same for anybody that runs it on the street. So I have this upright broken down. And originally, whenever I did this modification to the car, it was currently in a full rebuild. So I had the entire suspension and chassis broken down to where I could actually get to this upright easily. So I took the upright, put it under a drill press using a properly sized bit, and opened up the holes on these two tabs right here where the CTS-V brakes will mount. And so with that, I used a larger bolt that's properly sized for the caliper, which is also in the description for the PDF that I've written for this modification. And so it goes through the backside. Depending upon what rotor you're using, you might need to use some washers to shim out the CTS-V caliper to make it align better with your rotors. Some guys are using Corvette rotors, others are using the Camaro rotors. It really depends upon what you're going after. I'm currently using the two-piece CTS-V rotors that they have as a performance upgrade, and they fit just fine. The tolerances are tight, but I've not had any issues with them rubbing or making any extra noise or anything else like that. So with that being said, I'll also show you how to do the upgrade on the rear for your cars. For those that are interested in running the four piston calipers off the rear of the CTS-V as well, just to balance out the look of the car and also add a little bit more performance, especially for your cars that are a little bit more balanced than others. And that's also using the AI engineering bracket that attaches to your 10 bolt. For those that are running a Ford 9-inch or 12 bolt or anything else like that, you might have to look at other options, whether it be Will Wood or anybody. So with that being said, I'm going to carry on and finish with the install, and then I'll go ahead and start the video as I go on. Okay, so just to give you a general idea of what we're going to be working with here, this right here is the Corvette SKF tracker hub. It's a lot more robust than what you have on the F bodies. They will get pretty sloppy as you go along for anything with road race or autocross involved. And with this setup here, so you might be able to see, just trying to track my face instead. It is splined, and then you have the adapter bracket here. So it's got the bolt pattern to work with the F body, and then you've got the 3 bolts set up for the Corvette, and of course it's using the Corvette ABS sensor, so we're gonna have to make some modifications to that using the supplied plug, and we'll repin the stock setup. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and get this installed, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so you can see I've got the SKF hub already installed. I don't have the wiring or anything just quite finished yet. I was going to show you what I had to do with the CTS-V two-piece rotor. This is the rotor that I've been using. It's actually kind of a hefty piece, but you know, compared to say the ones that are carbon ceramic, these are a little bit more easier on my budget. These I got off of Amazon. I got the CTS-V brake calipers from ZZ Performance on eBay, and so these hubs, the diameter had to be opened up. I took them to a machine shop, got the hubs bored out to the proper size that we needed to be able to run it on this car. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and start installing these here in just a minute, but I probably need to get the wiring done so I have a little bit of more room to work with. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the CTS-V front caliper, the 6-piston setup already installed. I have the rotor installed. The bleeder screws are facing the top, which is also very important. And that's going to be, you're going to have bleeder screws on the inside and the outside. There's a specific procedure that you have to go through for bleeding this setup, especially when you run the 4-piston calipers in the rear as well. So we'll get to that here in just a minute. With everything else being installed, including the caliper and the rotor, I also have the brake lines and everything else taken care of. Have the adapters and all the information in the write-up. Go ahead and reinstall your wheels, torque them to the spec, whether it be for factory or for whatever the wheel manufacturer recommends. And I'll go ahead and after that I'll show you the rear caliper setup. Okay, so this is the rear setup. As you can see, on the CTS-V 4-piston brakes there, and running good old factory 10-bolt with some modifications, of course. And then here, okay, and then this is the AI engineering bracket installed on the 10-bolt. You can see that it replaces the factory backing plates, and instead I'm currently using CTS-V backing plates, so I'm able to use with that. I can also use, I can get some light on here, also able to use parking cable there, which is routed over the back and through to the factory style mount. Okay, and then you can see that's the mount using the supplied cables, and it mounts up just like factory, so no weird jicky jaw stuff to make it work. You can see here the return spring and everything. I actually used that off of the original setup. The car's pretty dirty under here. It looks pretty horrid, but that's what we've got. Well, here's hoping that the video plus the PDF file that I have shared online will help answer a few questions in regard to the CTS-V Brake Upgrade. If you have any other questions or need some more pointers or tips or anything else like that, feel free to contact me through my Facebook page, Instagram, or even on the YouTube channel. We can try and keep an open forum on all this stuff, and we can all kind of learn from each other. That way we can see about interchangeability for parts, new and updated parts, and everything else like that, because GM's always doing something different. So yeah, in the meantime, happy modding.